Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Ned Reynolds, Mike the intern in the studio. Thank God it's Friday. So, trade deadline is now behind us. I thought the Kansas City Royals made some very interesting moves right at the buzzer, man.
They did, as did the Cardinals. Cardinals unloaded a few of their individuals, and we're going to talk about them coming up in the next segment. There were some very big deals across Major League Baseball. The Houston Astros pulled a, in my opinion, big surprise by getting Carlos Correa back from the Minnesota Twins. That's kind of admitting that you made a mistake a couple of years ago when they let him go. But Correa, a veteran and hardened infielder, he's pretty good. A couple former Cardinals, Shelby Miller and Jordan Montgomery, had been out with the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're leaving Arizona for the Milwaukee Brewers, who have bolstered their pitching staff. The Padres needed some more bats. Hell, they already have some big bats in their lineup, but they gained Ryan O'Hearn, a former Royal, and Ramon Laureano from the Baltimore Orioles. Texas Rangers, this is a steal for the Texas Rangers. They get Merrill Kelly from the Arizona Diamondbacks. Kelly came onto the scene last year after having pitched in Korea, and he was a big deal and was a big deal with the Diamondbacks this year as well, but they let him go. Houston, here's another one that's a surprise. They pick up Jesus Sanchez from Miami. But too late for the Cardinals, because 24 hours before that, Sanchez stuck one on the berm up in St. Louis to beat the Cardinals 2-0. Only 2 runs in the game. Now he's playing for another team. And so it goes as the drive. And as I mentioned, we'll talk about the Cardinals and Royals specifically coming up in the next segment.
And I feel like you can definitely see where the team's heads are at now, especially after the moves they made or didn't make yesterday. What about the Speedway Classic? Where's that happening this weekend?
That is tomorrow night, and they will play that under the lights at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Now, Bristol is either in Tennessee or Virginia. Take your choice. It sits right on the border, and matter of fact, the center of town is divided between the two states. The Speedway itself is about 10 miles outside town in Tennessee, but they have reconfigured the infield now. It's a short track NASCAR event. And they've reconfigured the infield now and outfield for baseball. They're expecting a crowd of between 85 and 90,000. They have some country and western stars. I think Tim McGraw is going to be there, and Pitbull is going to be performing. That's just among the several. So it'll be a big party in Bristol, Tennessee. But the fact is that the baseball game, they're hoping to attract the largest crowd ever to see a regular season game. And we'll find out the Reds and the Braves tomorrow night.
And it'll be interesting to see if they actually break that record. So where's the racing happening?
The race will be in Iowa, and they're racing this year for the second year in a row, the Corn Classic, and it's at the Iowa Motor Speedway, which is in Newton, Iowa, not very far from Des Moines. And this will be the second year for it. They'll have all the qualifying and all the adjunct races. That's what I call them. They're important. They're paydays. They'll have them today or tonight and tomorrow night. But the race itself, the Corn Classic, will be on Sunday afternoon in Newton, Iowa, and that's the event on the calendar for NASCAR.
Earlier break, we kind of discussed what the moves Cardinals and Royals made. Let's start with the Cardinals. How many did they let go of yesterday?
Well, they let go of 3 of their pitchers. Of course, Ryan Helsley had already been gone. He goes to the New York Mets. Steven Matz goes to the Boston Red Sox. And then late yesterday, Phil Maton was traded to the Texas Rangers. Now, in return, the Cardinals are getting all minor league players. And who knows, some of them may end up for the rest of the season down here with the Springfield Cardinals. That's really a little bit hard to determine right now because they each have specific assignments where they're going to go, and the rosters have to be shuffled. But they will get minor league players, and certainly they'll be here next year. But the fact is that the Cardinals, and in a sense, Mike, you hate to admit defeatism, but this is what they're doing, is throwing up the white flag. They're surrendering because here's Helsley, Matz, and Maton leaving the bullpen, and it was a pretty good bullpen for the Cardinals when they needed it. Cardinals are saying, okay, we're not going to be in contention. We'll help somebody out, and a little bit of salary relief as well.
And the Royals looking like they're actually trying to make a push, at least try to get to that postseason with some of the moves they made.
They're still in contention for a wild card berth. As far as the championship, I can't see them overhauling the Detroit Tigers this late in the season, but wild card, yes, I can see them. And an interesting move by the Royals, and this is a bit of a salary dump for the San Francisco Giants. They let go of 34-year-old Mike Yastrzemski. Now, he's been with the Giants his entire career. here. This is Carl Yastrzemski, one of the all-time greats. This is his grandson, and he's a pretty good player, and I wouldn't call him great, but he's pretty good. Good stick. I think he has 8 or 9 home runs this year, and the Royals picked him up. They also, and here's the key, I think the Royals made a big deal with this one. A 27-year-old lefty named Bailey Falter. He is from the Pittsburgh Pirates, but he was a draft choice of the Philadelphia Phillies and is a big deal. He was 7-5 for the Pirates, 7 wins, 5 losses, and the Pirates aren't very good. He had a 3.73 earned run average. That is a big deal, in my opinion, for the Royals to get Bailey Falter. He'll help. Now, they did send, they being the Royals, sent catcher Freddie Fermin to the Padres for a couple of pitchers. So Kansas City was very active on that front. And the Springfield Cardinals, we mentioned them, they still have Nolan Gorman and Newtbar down here on their team rehabbing. And I guess they're going to be here for the weekend because the big club's out in San Diego to play the Padres. And I would have thought that if these players were going to accompany them, it would have been on their trip. But we'll see. Anyway, Springfield and Arkansas, and the Arkansas Travelers won last night by a score of 4-2.
See what happens with those boys. Well, at least we know they're in the playoffs no matter what happens for the rest of the season. Last night, first NFL game of the preseason at the Hall of Fame game, and don't look now, but the Chargers put the smackdown on the Lions.
They did 34-7, but it's an exhibition game. It's the first one. None of the regulars was in action at all. I thought that Trey Lance played very well for the Chargers. This is about his 4th or 5th year in the NFL, and he's been coming on and learning the system and all that. He played, I thought, directed the team well, and they interviewed him at the end of the game. Trey Lance played down here, folks. He played for the North Dakota State Bison, and he was a load to handle back in the Missouri Valley Conference days. Anyway, Chargers win 34-7. The Chiefs play 1 week from tomorrow night. That'll be their first game, August the 9th, in Phoenix, Arizona, and they will play the Arizona Cardinals, and you'll hear the game here on the Cave. That's a week from tomorrow night.
And Ned, you have a absolutely wonderful weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.